ROBLOX Jojo games. Jojo games on Roblox have been undeniably a big part of Roblox for the past 2 years. A majority of them came to light thanks to the pioneering of ABD. Without ABD setting a base plate for Jojo games to follow, I would doubt that any Jojo game would exist on Roblox. And yes, this does include YBA and AUT. So with these games being out for this long, you would at least assume that these games wouldn't have a major flaw. I'm talking about flaws. Flaws specifically in game mechanic or design. If I were to talk about YBA issues in this one video, I would really have to go on for 30 minutes. But what I want to talk about specifically in this video is one major flaw that almost every popular JoJo game has. And this is the fact that it's too grindy. Yeah, you're probably gonna say you're not the first one to say this, Flames. Yeah, you're right, but I might just be the first one to go in detail as to why this is a universal issue in almost every Roblox JoJo game. So, do you remember at the start of the video how I mentioned ABD was the pioneer of JoJo games? It was also the catalyst for this big flaw. Now, to see what I mean, we have to go back to the older ABD, and by that I mean before the first data wipe. I don't know how shiny stands were introduced to the game, but ABD adding shiny stand system into their game was probably the best thing that they could have done for their game. People were obsessed with shiny stands, and having a trade function also kept them even more engaged. We can see a really big similarity with that system specifically being in other Roblox JoJo games as well. AUT doesn't necessarily have shiny stands, but it has stands that are hard to obtain, which is essentially the same thing as the shiny stand function. YBA does have shinies, correct, but it doesn't have stand trading. So you might ask me, how does YBA fall in this category? Well, it's actually pretty simple. 1, you can trade cosmetics, and cosmetics also have rarities. And 2, you can trade items. Although you might get scammed, you can still trade items. And with lucky arrows being droppable, which makes getting shiny stands 100 times easier, you could also put that in that category. Stand Upright, when it existed, had shiny stands or hard to obtain stands. Also, these stands had traits which could be classified in this category as well. So you might be also asking, well, you might just get lucky and pull one, but what are the odds? In old ABD, the way to get Shadow of the World was to get a camera, but the camera was a 1 in 666% chance to spawn. In YBA, you only have a 1% chance with arrows to get a shiny stand. The game might have a pity system, but the pity system does not save, which adds on to the grind of the game. AUT items also had extremely rare items in them. However, they were less grindy and easier to get compared to ABD. But in AUT, with one of the new sneak peeks being the Meteor sneak peek, we saw that arrows will now be harder to get, but I don't know what's the upside to this. The point being, basically almost every stand is going to be harder to get if there is no essential upside to this. Stand Upright, I'm not even going to talk about it because the best trait was basically 0.1%, and getting a shiny or rare stand with that trait was even a lower percent. So yeah, the odds are not that likely. But fear not, there might be a fix. Games like AUT and YBA have been seen doing these events, which increase the likeliness for an item or items to spawn. However, with YBA not being updated, and AUT still being in dev, these events have died off. So how could you fix this? Instead of making these items spawn chance increases only on updates or special days, why not make it on weekends like GPO? GPO already acknowledged how grindy it was, and in response, they added a new system which has 2x spawn rate on devil fruits in the weekends. This would not only be a potential solution to this issue, it would also bring in more players during these events. I just see this as a win-win, benefiting both the community and the game. I would doubt that YBA would add this though, because the pity system not saving really does also bring in more players because of the fact that you have to grind over and over again if you lose connection or you get bored from using arrows over and over again. I mean, that was just my take on the situation. I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, but before I end the video, I have one last thing to say, and you might want to listen to this. Over 95% of you who watch my videos and come back are not subscribed. And between you and me, I think we both know that this is a huge number. So, I mean, if you do enjoy the content, why not consider subscribing? Anyways, with that shenanigan out of the way, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.